I was going through a personal struggle, and I always tried to do what was right, and I felt like I wanted to hear from godly women that could help me with my decision making. At the church that I go to, Pastor Charlene is the head of the women's ministry, and so she connected me with Denise from Life Center, and she was the one who agreed to meet with me and just kind of walk me through this whole thing. It was just a completely different view of what my life was supposed to be. I learned that I was really living for God, because of course I love God, but I was not living in Him, and I was not allowing Him to live in me. It wasn't this relationship. I thought it was, even though I thought I relied on God. I certainly prayed to God. I love God. I was relying on me. It was me to make things happen. I learned through foundations that we have that aren't correct, that I had pretty much built my life with a big focus on what other people thought of me and making them happy and making the world right for everybody, because that's what I was supposed to do, and God would want me to do that, so that made sense to me. But then I learned that that's not at all what He wanted. He wanted that relationship with Him, and it all had to start with Him. I used to say that I went from a background of knowing who Jesus was to knowing Jesus, and some amazing things had happened in my life with Him, and Denise had told me it was a beautiful preview, and I didn't quite know what she meant until this moment, when it was more than just knowing Him. It was like knowing He was me and I was Him, and that we're the same being here, that we're like a lightning rod for God, that His life goes into us and then out, and it's one big beautiful flow. And in that process of knowing and recognizing Him in me, it just makes everything else nothing. And God had to break me to get me out of His way, and to make me rely on Him and learn to let myself be with Him, to tell Him, to let Him. And surrender has been a big word through this whole process, and to just let go, just surrender, abide in Him, just be. And when I quit trying and quit doing, He's there, and He does it, and He makes it happen. I'm learning each day, really. I catch myself in a moment, and I just turn myself kind of inward and let go. I let Him, I tell Him, and it changes everything. It's all different. I finally see God as my Father. I sat in His lap and told Him where I was and what I was feeling and what I was thinking and what I was afraid of, and He just wrapped His arms around me, and I was safe and loved, and He just let me know nothing else was important except that I knew His love, and that's what I needed.